What's the haps? I'm Meroka, and I'm here to give you my first impressions of Airship Dragoon. Airship Dragoon is a steampunk turn-based strategy by Yorkshire Rifles, recently launched on Dasura. And if you want to market a game to me, you tell me it's from Yorkshire and it's got a steampunk theme, and it's turn-based strategy, which I kind of like. So that's a pretty good start to begin with. If we have a little glance under the hood, we can see that as far as PC titles go these days, many of them don't do it particularly well. This one does it right. You got plenty of audio sliders here, everything's customized up the wazoo. All the graphics quality, you can get to customize your experience to its most optimum. And unfortunately no key rebindings, but there aren't a lot of keys anyway, so that's not a terribly big deal. So let's forge on. It's mostly mouse driven really, if we're honest. You can play a single battle, which is just a single battle from a campaign. There's kind of a campaign which has an overworld map, and then individual battles, which you will see in a moment, but you can play a single battle if you just want a quick bite of the action. We have the Pangean campaign and the Citadel campaign, which is described as the bonus campaign, so it's almost as though there's almost like a expansion pack with it right at the start, which is kind of cool. But the Pangean campaign is the main campaign, so we pick one of 6 factions. We have the Austro-Hungarian Empire, British Royalists, Chinese Dynasty, People's Collective, US Republic, and the Zulu Nation. And we are obviously going to go with the British Royalists because British, you know. Tally-ho, pip-pip, and tea and crumpets and all that. So, medium, yes. Medium difficulty. Easier, obviously, start with less pirates, start with more money, and hard, they start with more money and more pirates, kind of the way that one goes. So here we are, new campaign, allied phrase. So we start out on this board, which is rather Settlers of Catan, if I'm honest. Which is pretty cool. Catan's alright by me. A little bit bigger than a Catan board, but it's a big strategy game, of course. Of course, it's going to be a bit bigger. So we've got select terrains, which is where we can build garrisons and things. Obviously, we don't have anywhere near enough money to do that at this stage. We have started with 460 finance, and garrisons cost 5,000. So we're not going to be able to build any new troops straight off the bat. Could start with an extra 5,000 if we'd put it on easy mode, which would have allowed us to build 1 extra garrison, which is our leg up, I guess. And we start with 1 dirigible. Our 1 dirigible will go forth and probably start a fight, I suspect. So let's... oddly enough, the dirigibles... Ah, there we go. Yeah, it's kind of weird. You'd expect just clicking on them to be able to move it, but you need to go down to here. Everything's done... Almost everything in this game is done through buttons. You have to click on the button, so you select terrain to go on terrains, then if you click off, you don't really tend to be doing anything, and you click on dirigibles to move on to selecting dirigibles. It's a little bit fiddly. Everything seems to be sort of a binary. Either you're doing something or not doing something, which is... The camera as well is annoying because you have to right-click and that starts you moving the camera, and then you have to right-click again to stop moving the camera. As opposed to any other game in existence, which right-click would move the camera and then you let go of right-click, and that would stop you moving the camera. Not so here, which is strange. So I've moved my dirigible, but it's just a little one, and I don't think it can move very far, so I don't have much other option in that one. Max moves. Oh no, this one is a sloop. Oh, this one has 5 moves. Oh, great. Previously I've started with much bigger ones that have required me to move much shorter distances. But that's kind of cool that we've got 5 moves on this one now. There we go. So we can see some on the map. We can see we are beset on all sides by pirates. But I can... Am I claiming the territory by flying over it? That's pretty neat. So, end the turn. Can't move any further, so we wait, and then our 5 enemies, which I would rather comfortably assume would be on the other 5 points of the hexagon. Look, 1, 2, 3, yeah. It is a hexagon, I can count. Presumably they're all at the other points, and they will be also making their way inwards towards the centre of this map. So once they're all busy... Once they've finished taking their turn, we can get on with ours. There is a fair bit of waiting in this game. I'm not gonna lie about that. There's waiting. See, we've got to wait for all our 5 enemies to sit and do their thing, and then we're allowed to take ours. Here we go, finally. So, let's go and start a fight somewhere, shall we? Matter of fact, actually no, I wanted to check, see how terrain reacted to me moving over it. So if I select dirigibles, we've got that one. Yes, that creates more British terrain, excellent. More sovereign territory. God save the Queen and all that. So if I click on this pirate one, hello, we have a pirate fight. So there we go. We can select our troops. There's a lot of fiddly individual customization here now. This can take some time if you're really OCD about it. You can be fairly quick about it if you just want a really generic loadout, but I imagine if you want to do anything remotely tactical and want to customize everything individually, it's going to be problematic. Now, at the start of the game, you don't get you don't have any troops at all other than general sort of draft, basically. Drafting people from their civilian duties and calling them out into your military, so we can grab one, grab two, or draft remaining, fill them all up, because I got no one else, so we'll just grab those. If these guys do well in combat, they will rank up and become part of the military, and they will rise up through the ranks, and they'll actually be much better in combat, but right now, they're all just basic conscripts. Then we can equip them individually. And the fights I've seen can go much bigger. This is obviously only 5 men in this battle, but I've seen they can go up to 15. I think it mostly depends on the size of your ship. I think if you have a larger ship, then it perhaps allows for a 15-man battle. We've just got the small ship, the small fast ships, so we've only got the 5. So grab our first man, go into his generic weapons. We'll give him a rifle. We do need to give him some ammunition as well to go with that rifle. So give him 15 rounds, say. Up here we've got strength and encumbrance, so obviously there's a limit to what they can carry, and of course we have a certain amount of funds, so there's also a limit to how much we can afford. I think we've got quite lucky actually. I've never seen quite that much money in one of these battles yet. I think got off to a really lucky start where we've actually got quite a lot of money coming in right off the bat here, which is more than I've had previously, so I can actually afford to arm them pretty well here. So I will also... oh, whoops, no, I didn't want that. Let's get rid of that. Didn't really need that. I will give them grenades, that's what I wanted. Give them a couple of grenades each. And a first aid kit. So that's 25 out of 31, they're all okay. There are also class-specific ones, but obviously that will require them to rank up. Right now, they've all got access to them, only the base kits. And then I can go into the next one, and I can give him his items. If I wanted to make a healer, I could say, okay, this guy... In fact, let's have this guy, yes, generic. He can be my pistol man. He is a pistol user. He carries .455 ammo. Give him 15 rounds. Make sure he's got his first aid kit as well. Give him a couple of frags. And that's his gear. Okay. But unfortunately, you can't save these loadouts as anything. That seems to be really annoying. I can't see any way to do that. If there is, I've missed it. It's not particularly obvious. The only way to copy these loadouts is this one button, which is clone all, which is just give the same equipment to everybody who doesn't yet have any gear. There's also no way to empty one guy. You can't just clear a character. You can clear everything, or you can clone to everything, but that's it. That's the most you can do. So that actually turned out reasonably cheap, actually, 130 to gear them out. That's okay. Then we can go to deployment, and... we are in an urban area, which is just, it's going to be a clear the area of enemy mission. It's slightly cloudy, which gives us a 200-meter visibility, and there are no temperature modifiers. I believe if I can also, I missed mentioning that, you can also give them formations, so if I wanted to send these two to the left as well, and have different troops going different routes, I can, but given that we've got such a small team, I'm going to keep them all together at the moment. So yeah, let's go to the deployment. So this is going to be a kill all the enemy battle. Basic, straightforward, nothing fancy, kill all the pirates. So let's continue. So we start out in this nice colonial era looking kind of city, I guess. So let's move forward. So, right, the movement is just click to move, but it suffers from the same problem as the camera does, unfortunately, which is to say that you click to start, and you click to stop, and you click to start, and you click to stop. And I like that. I like the characters are named after places. You've got James Thirsk, and I know Thirsk. Thirsk's alright. So, Stafford, obviously that's another place. Let's move him up. Of course, the man's from Yorkshire, of course he'd know Thirsk. So yeah, you just have to click everything, move them up, and this can be, with larger armies, a slightly laborious process, unfortunately. You can slide the slider up here so they charge, and you can get them to move a bit faster. I'm not quite certain. Let's find out. Yes, you have. For some reason, yeah, setting it to charge allows them to move what would appear to be twice the distance. I can't figure out why that's a thing. You just literally have the option to double your movement. It's almost as though the movement is based on the time they're spent running as opposed to how far they run, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Also, you can't change between different sort of tactical selections, as it were. How this is tactical, I'm not quite sure. You can't change between tactical selections on the fly. Once you start your turn, I'm committed to charging at this stage, so we're just going to charge forward. Let's see if we can join this man here. Ian Yarmouth will join his comrade over there. He also wants to be charging. Let's move him up. See, everything's done, like I said, there's more buttons, so you've got to click to move, and then click to shoot, and then you could also reserve actions for passive fire, or toggle that off, which presumably that would be a good idea at the end of each turn to reserve actions for passive fire, which means if I get shot at, they will return fire. Not that any of them have any actions left. So we've got James Anglesey, with Anglesey actually spelt wrong, but we'll ignore that fact. So everyone's moved, and must be the pirates' turn. So pirates, move up, please, because we can't see them. If you don't have a line of sight on them from any of your guys to any of them, you just get this, which is just random camera movements around the place, and a big ugly black block at the bottom that just says hidden movement. Which I can't help but think could perhaps have been done a little nicer than just the big black bar. Almost looks like something censored more than anything else. It's not particularly attractive, but I suppose it does the job functionally. So eventually, any day now, the pirates will finish moving, and I'll be allowed to take my turn again. There we go. Like I say, there is more than a little bit of waiting in this game, so let's put everyone on charge mode so they can get moved up pretty quick. So hopefully we'll be able to find some pirates, because what with the length of the turns, I have had some games where it's taken me some considerable time to find them. I think that might be one right dead ahead there, actually. I say this because my character stopped walking, and they have this annoying little thing where... Yeah, that's definitely a guy. If they get spotted by an enemy, they will immediately stop walking, and that's annoying. I'm not going to lie, that's really annoying. So if I run up ahead here... Oh no, I'm walking. Whoops. I didn't change charge, so I only get half the movement. So I'll catch up with these guys, presumably. Hi. Next one. Mr. Norfolk, you're charging. Move up. So as soon as this guy spots me, this guy will stop walking. There we go. He's got 11 actions left, but he stopped walking. Or did he just reach his target? I don't know. Either way, there's this thing where they don't like... I'm sure we'll see more of it. Hang on, let's move some more guys up, see if they get spotted. Let's move him well up. There we go. I set him to walk really far ahead, and he just stopped at 19 actions under the bridge here. Didn't want him to do that, but he did. Which is a problem. And again, at 13. Don't want this. And at 9. And at 3. Oh, there we go. You have to click so many times just to get them to move up when there's enemies around. We'll get the next one, and then we'll move him up. Charge ahead, good man. For Queen and Country and all that jazz or something. And of course, this guy's going to keep stopping because there must be pirates around. Are there any off to the sides that are spotting me here? Okay, there's definitely, I can see, I'm pretty sure it's 3 of them over there. We've got 2. Is it 1 or 2 dead ahead? Yeah, there's 1 in the building, 1 there. Not sure if there's any off to the left. Can't immediately spot. There might be a couple under that tree, but don't know. I think we're outnumbered, if nothing else. So eventually, Anglesey will move up. So that's everyone. Everyone's taking their turn, and it must be the pirates' turn. These maps are astonishingly big, especially to say I only have an army of 5. I've got 5 men trying to explore a really huge territory. It can take some time. I mean, the first battle I had 15 men, and it still took me 7 turns to get to the enemy. And you've seen how fast they move. Well, the movement speed's not the issue, but the turn time is, unfortunately. So I had 15 men moving up as fast as they move up, and then I had to do it 7 times before I even found the enemy, which was just laborious. And then we get this whole waiting game thing where we do the hidden movement. It would be much nicer if the enemy could take their turns faster than this, because the way it is right now, someone just got hit. Max Norfolk is critical. No, not Max. Okay, so there's like 5 of them over there? 4 or 5? Don't know. Taking a lot of pot shots from a long way away. And my guys are just conscripts. I'm not actually sure I'd be able to hit many of them. They do seem to have a really dismal aim, and the pirates actually seem to hit my guys reasonably frequently. There we go, there's a hit. Shot through the flowers, apparently. And he's down. Yarmouth's been killed. So I got Norfolk's critical, Yarmouth's been killed, Anglesey's taken a hit. This battle's going extremely well. So it's my turn. And here we see now how they handle to being shot under pressure. These conscripts, not only can they not hit Toffee, not that you even got a chance to see that, because they'll just frickin' leg it. They can also go crazy and just empty all their clip into the wall, which also uses up all their actions and prevents you from using them for the turn. But, yeah, there's also, they can run away or they can go crazy once under fire. I imagine the higher rank people won't do so much, but these guys need to actually survive the mission to become higher rank before I actually have higher ranks to be able to use well in battle. And as it is, these guys just stand no chance because they can't hit anything and they're running away from everything. So let's move him up and see if we can't pick up our man here actually. We can click on that, we can go change this out so we can if we click use first aid, if you use aid kit, there we go, and then exit. It's got the aid kit equipped. And move up to him. Eventually, maybe. One day now. Okay. Use the first aid on conscript Max Norfolk. Heal. Right. Max Norfolk is saved by Medivac. So it's not actually a medkit, is it? It's just an emergency retreat button, I think. Because I have 3 men left. It removes him from the battle, and presumably he will live to fight another day, is what we're learning from that. Which would be bloody useful if he was like a general or something. It was like, oh, he must save him. That would be useful. As it is, he's a nobody. I really, at this stage, aren't too bothered whether he lives or dies. So let's re-equip our gun. Let's use that gun. But equipping the gun would require actions I don't have. So let's move him away. Let's charge him away and hopefully get behind a tree or a wall or something. Flowers they'll have to do. Next! You go to charge. You move up. I can pick up his equipment off the floor though. There are those bags there which does allow me to sort of just harvest their equipment off the floor. Got 13 actions. It costs 12 per shot, so let's take a pot shot at these guys, shall we? And he shot the tree. So you can see what I'm dealing with here. These guys aren't going to be able to hit anything, very rarely at any rate, unless I get much closer, at which point they'd probably all be dead. and they have a very, very real tendency to run away under fire. And James Anglesey, yeah, he already ran away, which is why he's facing the wrong way and has no actions. Well done, Anglesey. You are a credit to the team. End turn. So, enemy phase. Let's see what happens. Thirsk's going to get shot at by a lot of pirates over there. Or at least one pirate. Can't make out how many that is. Yeah, there's definitely a few of them over there. They're all taking pot shots at Thirsk. Fortunately, they don't seem to be too much of a better shot than me, but there are a lot more of them. They definitely do seem to nail their targets better than any of my guys can. So must be at least slightly more accurate. There's more of them, they're more accurate, and to the best of my knowledge, they ain't going to leg it or go insane quite as easily as my men will. It's not a particularly fair fight, if I'm completely honest. And as such, it doesn't end up being tremendously fun, really. We just end up with this rather ineffective army that can't really do anything at all. I'm not sure how one is supposed to progress. In addition to that, on top of everything else, you've got this rather starting to grate little 30-second loop going around in the background. I don't think it's much longer than that. It's definitely shorter than a minute. All the music in this game is literally between 30 seconds and a minute long, I think. And it just loops over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And you will get sick of it, so sick of it. The first track I heard in the first battle almost sounded vaguely reminiscent of a battle music from Skies of Arcadia, and I thought, oh, that's really cool. I like that. I could get used to this kind of thing. That's a really catchy tune, and great battle music, absolutely, yeah. It'd be brilliant. And then it stops 30 seconds later, and it goes back to the beginning. It starts again, and then it stops and starts again, and it stops and starts again. It goes back around and around and around, and you're like, oh. By the time you've been playing this for, I don't know, how long have I been in this battle? Over 10 minutes now. 10, 15 minutes? How many times have I heard this track? Probably about 30, 35 times now, at least I would have said. It's getting ridiculous, so let's try and shoot this guy. I'm not holding anything, of course, this was mine who just did some first aid. Let's equip the right gun. It's got 5 rounds still in it. Yeah, there's 23, which is enough to fire 1 bullet off, really, and not much more. So this man, shoot at this man right here. You shot the dirt. Well played, Thirsk, you shot the dirt. I hope you're proud of that shot. Right, let's see if we can't get him back out the way. Behind this tree. There we go. Nice and safe and secure behind a tree. And Stafford, you move up and let's take a shot with Stafford. Eventually. So 27, I can fire off 2 rounds. Nope, that's a tree. And nope, that's just straight up wide of the mark. And now I'm out in the open. Hooray! I can't take 2 steps without getting stopped. End turn. I'm almost wishing these guys would die now just so that we can end the battle. I'm just thoroughly sick of it now. I really am. Unfortunately, there's not a lot to recommend this game. On paper, the concept when pitched to me sounded like something I could thoroughly get behind. In practice, it's clunky, it's difficult to control, the music is just really doing my head in now. I can't be dealing with that. The combat's really tedious and drawn out and not particularly fun. There's far too much waiting, and it's just not in any way, shape or form intuitive. I hate to say it because I wanted to like this game. Upon hearing it, I thought it was a game I really would enjoy. I thought it was something I would want to play. But there's nothing to recommend this, unfortunately. It's unfortunately quite a poor title. So if I ever finish getting shot at, maybe going to have another few shots at the enemy. So I think that's going to happen anytime soon. It's like watching paint dry. It really is. You know what, I can't even be bothered waiting for them to finish shooting at me. Thank you for watching. This has been Airship Dragoon. And I'll see you next time.